Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Shai, Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Shai, Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Howell, Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakal Kodash, the blindness of the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, which you well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Sadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. On the Priest Shaman, this week's topic is going to be entitled Beetle Juice. The inspiration for the show comes to the fact that you had the priest Yashalom put something in this chat where they put in beetles, crushed beetles, in some of these juices. I think orange juice or Esau puts all types of abominable bullshit and everything, man. So we're not gonna be over righteous and skim every single thing, because we wouldn't eat shit, man. Damn everything we scriptures says in the book of Ezekiel, the 4th chapter, we're gonna eat our bread defiled among the Gentiles. That's not a license to throw some goddamn bacon, egg, and cheese down your mouth. I'm just saying, when you get all into the every single technical hydroglycogen, all everything, you're just gonna end up bugging yourself out. That's not the point of the lesson. The point of the lesson is how important it is to go into the Hebrew. All right, because the first thing I thought to my mind was, I know there's certain scriptures in the English translation that says it's acceptable to eat a goddamn beetle, which is not, and you wouldn't know that without going into the Hebrew, because you have certain guys that downplay the Hebrew. Look, we're Hebrew Israelites. It's our language. We have to speak it. When we have to study it, and we have to learn it. Can't just break it down into English, brother. Nah, there's certain we're gonna go around saying we can celebrate Easter, But this one particular situation, let me bring to mind going into the Hebrew. This is this is Beetle Juice. This is an article from 2011. Yesterday, Fergus Fitzgerald, head brewer of Adams, told Debugged about his plight to keep pigeons, cockroaches, and bats out of his vats. But there are some food and beverage manufacturing who like to include insects in their products. It's not a particularly pleasant thought, but you might have consumed beetles without even releasing. Without even realizing, pardon me. We consumed all types of shit, man. Without even realizing, because we're in this man's wicked, defiled system. Scripture says you're going to eat poison and live, Mark 16, right? So a lot of stuff that the so-called white man mass produces, who done told all types of shit that done fell in them vats that we're not supposed to be touching or eating, right? Unless you have your own farm and you're growing your own fruits and vegetables, man, it's very difficult to avoid these curses. If you ever come across a pink, purple, or red soft drink, chances are it contains carmine, also called cochineal, which is a coloring ingredient made from crushed beetles. Various brands of grapefruit, strawberry, pomegranate, or cranberry juices also contain the ingredient. If you're curious, check the label for any mentions of carmine, cochineal, or E120. And this could be endless, bro. This could be endless, I mean, I'm gonna look out for that. And make sure that don't happen. You try your best, but I'm just saying, it could be endless trying to spot every single thing that Esau puts in this shit. And furthermore, this man's a liar. He don't even have to tell you what's in there, But we do our best, man. Anyways, this is Leviticus 11:22. It says, "Even these of them ye may eat: the locust after his kind, and the bald locust after his kind, and the beetle after his kind, and the grasshopper after his kind." See, so this is why you can't just break things down into English, because somebody reading this English translation will say, "Oh, see, the Bible says you can eat beetles," but then when you go into the Hebrew now, right? The word is harag, hargal, a kind of locust or leaping creature, right? So it's a kind of a locust. Now, when you go into your commentaries, and I'm not gonna say every single commentary is on point, but when it's you go through the spirit, you can tell. You go through a few of them, and none of them commenters are gonna tell you that's a beetle. This is the John Gill commentary, one of my favorite commentaries. It says when you go to this part and the beetle after his kind, it says which is another sort of locust called chargal. It should not be rendered a beetle, for no sort of beetles are eatable, nor have legs to leap withal, and so come not under the general description given of such flying, creeping things fit to eat. Right. And beetles, you have a dung beetle that they deal with shit. So you're not going to eat no beetle. You know, the locust and the grasshopper, they deal with grass. Let me see another commenter. I want to look at this other commenter where he says, this is the Barnes commentary. In the uncertainty of identifying these four creatures, it has been suggested that some of the name may belong to locusts in an imperfect state. All right, so hold on. There's another one where it pretty much goes into, pardon me, bear with me now. There's a bridgeway. It's not that one. There's a pool. You know, it's all pretty much saying locusts, but one of them tells you that that pretty much what we're looking at here is different forms of locusts, grasshoppers. Hold on, let me go back to let's compare some of these different translations. Let's look at some different translations for what they got in Leviticus 20. Let's see. Here we go. ASV. Even these of them you may eat, the locust after his kind, and the ball locust, and the cricket, and the grasshopper. Right, so different form of locusts and grasshoppers and crickets. What else they got? You know, pretty much that they deal with grass. BSB, of this you may eat any kind of locust, katydid, cricket, or grasshopper. Let's see, yep, here we go. Crickets and grasshoppers. You know, a lot of crickets, grasshoppers, and locusts. You know, same family pretty much. Easy English, they include the locust, the cricket, and the grasshopper. So certain translations, you know, hitting more the point than the King James translation on that particular scripture. You know, overall we use the King James. But some of these, you know, translating to Hebrew. See, if we were speaking Hebrew from the jump and we didn't have to use this bastard tongue, there would be a lot better understanding of these scriptures. All right? Not just from a translation standpoint, but the culture, all right, and the force of things being said in that language. You know, anytime you translate something, a lot get lost. There's a term called lost in translation, right? See, I've seen grasshopper, you know. Yeah, but the point has pretty much been made, man, that we're not supposed to be consuming no beetles, but the King James, the English version rather, is saying eat beetles. So you see the point of what? Going into that Hebrew and studying. So it's not just, oh, break it down in English. No, we got to do some studying. This is 2 Timothy 2:15. It says, study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Because somebody might press you about that on the streets. And if you didn't do your studying, you know, then you might get hemmed up if you're just breaking things down in English. And that's what a lot of these people in the world do. Just break it down in English. The Bible is written in Hebrew, man. Including the New Testament, it was translated in Greek, man. Because what? We're Hebrew Israelites. Can't stress that enough. Now, this is an excerpt, a part of Ecclesiasticus, the first chapter in the prologue. Right? It says, let's see now. Right here. It says, for the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue, because, you know, when you go into Sirach, it was taken out of Hebrew and translated into Greek. It says, for the same thing uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. See that? So it's like a dilution, you know, and it could often lead to confusion. So going into the Hebrew, and the beautiful part about going into Hebrew, you can understand, paired with understanding the manners and customs of the time when the scriptures were being written, it shares a greater deal of understanding, and that's what we do. That's why we go into these lessons. All right, that's like when we go into different scriptures and all that means that in the Hebrew, and you know. So I figured that was a quick to the point on that situation. With that, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well, and salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Zadakim, that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Shalom.